They say follow who knows road, or better still, follow the one way they do the road top, so I don't make the same mistakes they are making. So in this video, you know what I decided to do? I decided to call all my friends who are entrepreneurs and ask them one simple question: that what is the biggest mistake they made in their businesses? And if they had the opportunity to do it again, how well would they do it? See, this is the most realistic video you will ever see. These are ruthless entrepreneurs. So without wasting my time, I'm going to write their names down and start calling them. Larry, what is your biggest mistake since you started business? And if you had the opportunity to do it again, how would you do it?
The biggest mistake for me is not getting a proper basic accounting skill.
So this is value being dropped. She said she did not get a proper basic accounting skill. We are talking about you knowing your revenue, your turnover, your income statement, your balance sheet. These are very, very important things to know in business. So how did that affect your business?
Yeah, so because I was doing, like I explained earlier, you buy something, I was not properly adding my cost price. I was just doing, let me just round it up.
So what you're trying to say is you ended up factoring the profits of your business was just by your own discretion. You didn't do proper marketing about every single.
Yes, from the beginning.
So basically what she was talking about is pricing. She made mistakes pricing her products. There's a big difference between cost price and selling price. And this is one of the biggest mistakes I personally made, not understanding what is cost price and what is selling price.
By now that I have the proper knowledge, I now realize that little amount that I thought was my profit was not even profit. It was still part of the overhead cost in running the business and bringing that product to me. So I was running at a loss, like literally at a loss. I thought I was making profit, but I was not calculating my cost price. I was running at a loss.
So at the end of the day, what she basically said is everybody needs basic accounting skills before they start their business. This is very important to every business. You cannot just start selling and not know what is going in and what is coming out. You really need basic accounting skills. Let's move on to the next call. Since you started a business, what is one thing that you really regret? What would you have done right, which you did wrong before?
I regret not establishing business credit.
So what she basically said is she wasn't able to establish proper business credit. And you ask yourself, what is business credit? It's your ability to borrow money as a business. But she doesn't live in the country. She lives outside Ghana. She lives in the States. So comparing their jurisdiction to ours is going to be quite different. So we being able to borrow money here might be a little bit difficult. But at the end of the day, what she is trying to say, we need to get enough money before we start the business. And what you're trying to say is you should have established yourself to get better funding for the business, right?
Correct. Yes. Nice. And been able to financially support the business until the business could support itself.
So I like the last statement she made. She said she should have been able to run the business so the business could run itself. And if you are talking about Ghana right now, for you to be able to get the ability to borrow money from these banks, you need to have a business bank account and run the account for a couple of years. You understand? Before you can actually get these banks to borrow you money. It's going to be a little difficult, but at the end of the day, we need capital to run the business. Let's move on to the next call. Anybody asks you, say, what has been the biggest regret in your business? And if you had a chance of going back, what would be the one thing you did wrong where you're not going to do them right now again?
Yeah, for me, the biggest regret so far, the running like multiple products at the same time.
So what Mr. Horowitz just said is running multiple products was a problem for his business. What you need to understand, these are different entrepreneurs. So based on their business model, they might make different mistakes. But his mistake is running multiple products. At the end of the day, you need to niche down. You cannot just start selling to everyone. They say if you sell to everyone, you sell to no one.
And if I get to do it again, I just go focus on one product or maybe like one niche entirely.
And rather trying to do everything.
Yeah.
So niche down is very important. I think most of us, what we try to do is we try to scale our businesses too fast. And this causes a lot of problems for the business. You are not mature there, but you want to scale your business. You understand? So niching down is extremely important. It reduces your marketing budget because at the end of the day, you're not selling so many products. So you can niche down, put all the marketing into one product. This is great value. Let's move on to the next call. Throughout the years of you doing business, what was being one of the main mistakes you did And if you had the opportunity to do it again, you would never repeat that same mistake again.
Basically, it will be given the leeway for people to create stuff in my kitchen where I give them room to do all that.
So Mr. Mohammed basically wants a restaurant. And what he just said, we should allow other people bring their ideas on board. And you not be you get brain. So what you need to do is allow other people to bring their ideas on board. They say the teamwork makes dream work.
Okay. Because when you give the money out to people, they end up interacting with the customers more, and during the business, they give you the conditions that the people you are serving are actually enjoying what they are doing.
Customer interaction. If you have good people around you, they are going to bring you feedback. That's going to help you improve your product or your service. This is amazing value just dropped. And Mr. Mohammed has an amazing restaurant. What they do is every year they give free food to the street children, and it's an amazing initiative. So if you are watching this thing, buy from Kayan Restaurant. Let's move on to the next call. If you had one regret since you started business, what would that be?
I think for me, the big regrets I would have would be running a business is not just your technical skills.
Okay.
It's also about things like the finances. It's things about managing
Accounting.
workers under you. Exactly.
Beautiful. He just said running a business doesn't necessarily depend on your skills. You need to understand the finance, the management part of all the parts of business. For instance, I came into my business as a marketing and sales guy because wherever I worked, I was a sales guy. That's why I understood marketing and sales. But when I came into my business, I needed to understand the logistical part of the business, the accounting part, everything, and still I did make mistakes.
When you're working in a company at lower level or even when you're rising up the ranks, you are basically learning all these things at the risk of someone else, which is the business owner.
Wow.
You're not the business
I like
owner.
that. Mm-hmm.
You see, so you're learning these things without taking risk yourself.
So it pays to actually equip yourself with these basic business skills, especially the finance. You understand? Most of us make big mistakes in terms of our finances. Where to put the money? Put all the money you're getting in the business back into the business. Do not take some and go and chop. Listen to the value being dropped there.
And unfortunately, me running my own business, I'm now having to learn those skills at my own expense, at my own risk.
Wow.
So if I make a mistake, it costs the business,
If you do not equip yourself properly with the skills you need for business, at the end of the day, it's going to hurt your business. Let's move on to the next call. Biggest mistake you ever did in your business, what would you say?
I think the only mistake was investing capital into a liability. And there's liability to, you see, if you maintain and then a lot of things.
I like this part because I feel like it relates directly to me. He said, investing your capital into liability. Like me, when I started my business, I wanted to buy a nice car. I wanted to ride something nice. Meanwhile, it was the capital of the business I was pulling to go buy the car. So at the end of the day, you pull money from your business, but you put up for liabilities inside.
Yeah, but we know they bring money.
Liability is not the bring money. You need to understand this. You need to make sure that the business is actually making money. You need to pay yourself. Separate your personal finance from the business. Let's move on to the next call. Throughout your number of years in business, if there is one regret, or let's say one thing you would have done differently, if you had a chance to go back, what would it be?
Charlie. What a question.
Mm-hmm. I think that first off, I would have cut my expectation of how fast I thought that money will come.
If you are an enthusiast of business, personal development, crypto, I think you should know this one. Mr. Kwame Eyopoku. See, the value this money bring, it will be easy. And listen to what he said. He said, cut down your expectation on how fast you think money is going to come into the business. Be realistic.
I think that a lot of us overestimate the period of time it will take for you to achieve success. Chances are, if you're starting a business today, you're not going to talk proper success until maybe the 5th year.
Proper success, maybe the 5th year inside. Are you taking down notes?
The reason is because even if you go into positive cash flow right from the beginning, you will need to run the business into a period where you are able to have at least 2 years of runway money. So the business becomes, remember I said business is very redundant, and then no money is coming up. You have enough to keep the business going for another 2 years, 12 to 24 months. I don't know what I can say, no profit, maybe I'll be a day. And, you know, and I think I took a version of the glorified entrepreneurship path to say me. Next year now, I know what you range over. So I think I would have really, really lowered that expectation because it took me almost 8 years as a 7 years.
To really establish a business. Need the other guy West. It took him 8 to 7 years for him to properly understand the concept he's dropping here. Understand that it's going to take you some time before your business will start making money. So in a nutshell, we should look at the more realistic point of like getting our capitals right. You can run for let's say like 2 years before the business can.
That's the only time you can call yourself a business. Actually, if you don't have runway to keep the business going for 2 years at least.
Yes.
If the business was to make no money, then you don't have a business yet.
Are you taking notes? The kind of value being brought there. Are you taking notes? Because you can see the kind of notes I'm taking. You better be taking notes.
The second principle is for me. My industry is a bit different. I'm a speaker, so I sell knowledge.
Yes.
And I think that I took too long to draw the line between I've paid my dues and it's time for me to get paid. And I kept it going for a very, very, very long time. So when it was time for me to charge, I had a bit of a struggle charging my worth, and that was a real problem. So I think the idea here is very simple. If you know your product or the service you're offering is a quality service that actually solves a problem, then please don't compromise on price. Don't compromise on price. In the presence of value, price does not matter.
In the presence of value, price is not negotiable. If you know the product and service you are offering and you know the value you are giving to people, you will never negotiate on your price.
That's the reason why nobody goes to the hospital. Now you catch or cancer. Now you catch also your surgery. Nobody a doctor named to Nobody asks for doctors to reduce money because at that point the value is your life and death. And so because of the magnitude of the value, nobody ever negotiates in the hospital.
Very
so
true.
if you have a product and you have a service that is solving a real problem, start selling immediately. You can find a lot of ways to give back to your consumers. You can run discounts when you feel like. You can take a part of your profit and do charity work. You can do whatever. But charge your worth, and if the value is there, just target the right audience and you will be fine. Those are probably the two things I would have done different. The first is to lower my expectation, and then the second I would have started selling way earlier. Yeah.
If you watch this video and you like it, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Because I'm about to drop more value. Value that you will never get anywhere. The most realistic value you will ever get on a YouTube channel.
I got we do.
You for use your mind.